So I think a lot of people, myself included, consider the first two Thor films pretty fun, but nothing really that special. Kinda towards the bottom of the MCU. But after the premise was announced, and the director was announced, and the trailers came out, I was super excited for the third entry in this series, Thor Ragnarok. So it's time to talk about it. And as usual, I'll be going no spoilers to start off, and then later on, with a very big warning, I'll get into the spoilers. So don't worry, nothing will be ruined for you here. With all that said, let's get into it.
This will be such fun.
Hello.
Hi.
So, was Thor Ragnarok as great of a time as I thought it'd be? It was pretty close. Firstly, the positives, starting with the cast. The cast is fantastic in this, especially as most of them are comedic performances. This is definitely the best Chris Hemsworth has ever been as Thor. He seems like a very funny guy, so this fit him really well. Cate Blanchett did a really good job as Hela. She was pretty intimidating. This is also, I think, my favorite Mark Ruffalo performance in the MCU so far. Him and Thor also have great chemistry. It's a really fun pairing. The others are as good as you'd expect, that being very good. Hiddleston, Elba, Urban, Thompson, all great. Also, I just want to say, it's nice that we now have the entire main cast of Creed in the MCU.
What say we steal some shit?
But the two I want to give a special mention to are Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster. As many of you know, I love Jeff Goldblum, and he made me laugh pretty much every time he was on screen in this. He was hysterical. And the other, who we haven't really seen much of in trailers, is the director Taika Waititi as Korg. I won't spoil anything about him, but just want to say, congrats Taika Waititi on making a very fun film and simultaneously being the funniest part in it. As far as the action and visual effects, they're really good. I wouldn't say there's anything particularly stand out, but it's always fun to watch. And really, this movie looks great. It's colorful and vibrant, and there's some really beautiful shots here. So hats off to Taika Waititi and the cinematographer for those. Now, the main part of this film is 100% the comedy, and this is easily the most comedic MCU film to date, even more than Guardians of the Galaxy. It's basically non-stop jokes here, and while I personally didn't really have a problem with that, for the first time ever, I can understand why someone might say it's too funny, because there's almost never a break from the jokes. But I would say a lot of the jokes here were really funny, and when they hit, they really hit. This has some of the best jokes in the MCU period, especially anything involving Korg, the Grandmaster, and this story about snakes that Thor tells. I haven't laughed that hard in a while. Also, once you settle into the fact that this is basically just a total comedy through and through, it's really enjoyable. I'd say quite a lot of these scenes feel kind of like extended comedy sketches, like especially involving a certain Avenger who's in this, who you probably already know is in this, but I won't spoil it. That's not necessarily bad, but some scenes here felt a bit like a premise for a Robot Chicken sketch or something. But I will say, this is kind of a fun take for a superhero film to just have a full-ahead comedy, even more so than Guardians, which I didn't think was possible. It felt somewhat fresh and unique, which was great. The music's also pretty good here, and something that I really loved in this is how insane and comic booky it is. I love when these superhero movies and TV shows actually embrace that they're superhero movies and TV shows, and so they just go all out with it. Like Guardians. I love this corner of the MCU where everything is so insane, and there are giant fire demons and aliens and gods. It's just a lot of fun to see. Also, if you look at how the MCU started, that being quite grounded, it's a lot of fun to see how it's evolved to this place. And I just really love the world and the crazy premise for this. With all the weird space sets and how this looks, it feels different. Sure, it feels a little Guardians of the Galaxy-ish, but for the MCU, it's so weird and out there, especially with all the Grandmaster stuff, and that's something I really enjoyed. It feels so much more creative and unique compared to those other Thor films. If there's one of them that I'll remember or be rewatching, it's definitely this one. And I'm not just trying to hate on those films. I think they're good enough, but this is on a whole other level of fun and inventiveness, which I loved. All in all, the movie's just incredibly entertaining and fun to watch. If there's one word to describe this film, which I've used a lot already, it's fun. As far as some other quick things, the movie moves along quite briskly. I'd say it's pretty fast-paced. I also really love the fact that the trailers didn't give anything away, really. Take notes, people who make trailers. It does make a difference in how enjoyable a film can be. This movie also has quite a bit of MCU fan service, and just comic book fan service in general. But as an MCU fan, that didn't bother me. Although I will say, this movie kind of makes it impossible to watch the first two Thor films, at least for me now, because those take themselves relatively more seriously, and this makes fun of them and everything else that's happened in the MCU so much that I feel like it would be kind of weird to try and go back to those. Now, I do have some negatives here, because for me, this wasn't perfect. What with this being a non-stop comedy, A, it was hard for me to take any emotional scenes that seriously, and B, some jokes here didn't land. Like, they were a tad hit or miss. A lot were funny, but there were a few times where it just really fell flat for me, especially in the first act. The movie started just kind of weak. The jokes felt really obvious there in the beginning. Also, there were some out-of-place music choices here, or at least one, which just kind of felt like jumping on the bandwagon of having 70s pop music in a film. I love that music, but I just didn't feel it really fit here. And I'd say, overall, while the film is really fun to watch, because I couldn't really take any serious aspects of it that seriously, it kinda lacks the weight of some other MCU films. Like, I didn't really feel for these characters that much, and so, unlike another MCU film this year, emotionally, it felt just a little empty to me. This also relates to another point that I'll talk about in the spoiler section. Also, some visual effects here weren't great. A lot were, but a few times some stuff looked a little CGI or a little green screened, especially with the Hulk. Everyone I saw this with thought the Hulk looked great, and I agree most of the time, but a few times I was like, those effects look a little unfinished. So before I get into spoilers, I'll just wrap this part up. Thor Ragnarok is a super fun time at the cinema. I would say, considering how high my expectations were, I was slightly underwhelmed, but I still had a great time. I would highly recommend this. This is a very easy film to just kinda sit down and watch and have a good time with. As far as the MCU this year, I'd put this below Homecoming, but above Guardians 2. I'll give Thor Ragnarok a 9 out of 10. Okay, now we're getting to the spoilers. If you haven't seen the film yet, click away from this video now. Okay, so, first off, that other complaint I have, this isn't really a spoiler, cause it's kind of obvious, but I felt like it could ruin a little bit. Most of these characters are pretty much invincible. I know, they're gods, they're supposed to be, but I find it hard to really get invested in a fight scene when I know that they're not gonna die. I guess you can say that about the other MCU films, cause you know these characters are gonna be back for some sequels, but here, in a fight scene, I didn't feel like there were really that many consequences. The Hulk punches Thor from like 1,000 meters up in the air, and the next scene, he's just got like a bruise. Yeah, at one point he loses an eye, but I felt like they kinda just glanced over that pretty quickly when it happened. Anyway, doesn't ruin the movie, but again, just made it feel less tense to me. As far as other spoiler things, the Stan Lee cameo was absolutely hilarious, loved it. Doctor Strange's appearance was fun, although a little confusing to me. Like, he can just completely teleport now, like in a split second. Or was he messing with time? That's new, I think. Anyway, it was fun to see him show up, and it kinda added to that comic book feel, where random characters from this universe can just pop up at any second. Other cameos, the Matt Damon, Sam Neill, and third Hemsworth brother part, was pretty funny, if not a bit random feeling. I did enjoy seeing that hunt for the Wilder People woman in this. That was fun. Odin had a very Oogway-esque death, which was fine, but again, I didn't really feel anything when it happened. Also, Asgard was destroyed. Okay, I guess they'll find some other planet to settle on. Maybe Earth? I think they've done that in the comics. Now, as far as the end credit scenes, the second one with the Grandmaster coming back was great. Thought that was funny. And the first one, I'll be honest, I don't know what that ship was supposed to be, but I'm guessing Thanos was inside of it. Seems like the most logical thing. If that's the case, my assumption is Avengers 3 will start out with the Revengers fighting Thanos, and maybe some getting taken out or captured, and Thor gets tossed into space where he meets up with the Guardians. I imagine that's how that's gonna play out. Also, Loki totally took the Tesseract, and he's gonna give it to Thanos to try and bargain for his life. I'm willing to bet that'll happen. So those were my thoughts on Thor Ragnarok. What did you think of this? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. While you're at it, be sure to like this video, check out my Instagram and Twitter at BHL_Hudson, check out this podcast about movies and TV and whatnot I do every other Friday with a friend of mine, it's called the Poorly Planned Podcast, and subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.